Hey, thank you so much for joining me today. Today's episode is going to be about the home value. It's going to focus more on the seller and what you can price your home at. This episode is more geared towards the seller who's looking to find out how they can price their home. And there's no cookie cutter approach to this. You really have to get with a real estate agent who can evaluate the numbers for you and give you a pretty good pricing range. And the best way to do that is by comparing the homes that are currently on the market, the unsold homes, what's under contract, and what's sold maybe in the past 90 days. What you don't want to do is get on a home valuation site like Zillow or any one of these other numbers of sites and find a number and say that's it. There's a lot more that goes into pricing a home, and comparing homes in a neighborhood is a good starting point. So I would say you can even get on those sites, get your Zestimate, for example, and you have a good place to start. But from there, you really want to dig in and see the homes that are comparable. For example, let's say you have a neighborhood that has more than one model home. It also has townhouses and single family homes. So you have to look at the pictures. Your agent might even want to go out and preview those homes so they can have a better understanding and compare it to yours. You really want to get a tight range, not something that's $30,000, $40,000 in variation. The unsold homes on the market that have been sitting for a long period of time, you also need to look at the homes that sold quickly. Maybe have your agent call to some of those agents and find out what kind of questions they got, what feedback they received, even the unsold homes, what kind of traffic they're getting, if any negative feedback that they're getting. So that way you can understand what people are looking for in that neighborhood. For example, I was just having a conversation with someone in my own neighborhood. We have a brand new model that went up in the area, and they felt that model was going to take away from our home value. Our homes are much bigger and they have more, I would say, upgrades than the newer home, and they thought that this home that went in is now has made our price range go down, which in reality is not true. That particular person just paid too much for their house. When you go into new construction, something to consider is if it depends on when you purchase. If you purchase pre-construction or if you purchase in the early stages of that neighborhood, you are going to get a much better price than when you are at the end. The price points for this particular neighborhood range in $160,000, if that gives you any idea, and they're very similar models. So it just depends on timing, what your upgrades were. There are so many details. There is just no cookie cutter explanation for price points. That's in new construction. But now we're going back to home value and when you're looking to price your home to sell. You really have to look at your upgrades. And like I mentioned before, having your agent go into other homes or looking at pictures to compare your house and get it as close to one that has sold recently or is unsold or even under contract, so you know a good place to start. I always like to find out my seller's goals. If they're looking to move somewhere quickly, they want to consider pricing on the lower end. If you're just selling your house, you don't have a deadline, you don't have any goals to get out of it immediately, you have flexibility to price at the higher end. And I also make the recommendation, price where you're comfortable, but be prepared to make price drops. There is no drop dead price point. It's just for every home, there will be a buyer at the right price point. And you could be sitting at a price point that the one homeowner is just invisible to that person who's going to really want your house. The key indicator that your price is too high is the fact that you're not getting any traffic or not enough traffic. Buyers are out there. Buyers are looking for homes, and especially coming into spring, traffic has picked up tremendously. So if you're not seeing much traffic in your home, you should definitely consider a price reduction. I've had situations where we've made a minor price adjustment and seen an influx of traffic. For example, if you're sitting at a price point of $232,000, you're missing the demographic of 230 and below. So you may just want to drop it to 230,000. It's a mere reduction, but it can make a tremendous difference because typically when we search for price ranges in $5,000 and $10,000 increments. So you're going to have, from that minor change, you could see major impacts. It actually worked for me. I had a listing that was just above the $10,000 increment, and we dropped the price $1,000 and we sold the home. And that shows you that just such a minor change can make all the difference. It had been sitting for like 4 months, and we got 2 contracts in within 2 weeks. So keep in mind, be open, hope that you have some equity, and be flexible. Also, in the buyer's market that we have, buyers are asking for closing cost assistance. So that's something that you want to be aware of. And if your home is priced right, it could sell very quickly, and you could get multiple offers in. So even pricing at the lower end is helpful, because if you have what a buyer considers to be a really good deal, you'll get multiple offers in because they see that home and they want it and they know it's a good deal. How buyers determine value is if they're getting a deal or it's something that they really, really want. So those are some things to consider when pricing your home. Make sure, if you haven't done any upgrades to your home, that you are pricing it at the right point where they feel they're getting a deal, because a buyer is going to come in and look at what needs to be done and reduce the price based on that. So if they're going to come in low, a really low ball price on your home, and you feel insulted, try to understand that they are taking off for what the work that needs to be done in the home. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Again, if you would like to hear about a topic or you have a question, please reach out to me. I'm on Twitter at KristaSellsVA. See you soon.